They want you loud, shining, and perfect in the spotlight. But what if your real power hides in the shadows, where silence screams louder than words? Today, on Twist Mind, we unlock a fierce truth. I wasn't born in shadows, but I walk better there. This is more than survival. It's the fire that burns unseen, the strength forged in darkness, and the calm before the storm. If you're ready to rise where others fall, stay close. And before we dive in, smash that like button, drop your thoughts below, and hit subscribe. The real journey begins now. There's something about silence that makes people underestimate you. They see a quiet person and immediately assume weakness. They see calmness and mistake it for fear. I was one of those quiet ones, not because I didn't have something to say, but because I was learning, watching, absorbing the chaos around me. I wasn't born with armor. I didn't come into this world with confidence. What I had was doubt, pain, and people around me who never really saw me. They just judged what I didn't show. People looked at me and said, "He's too soft. He doesn't have it in him. He won't last long." I could hear it in their laughs, see it in their eyes. Every time I stumbled, they were quick to point. Every time I paused to breathe, they whispered failure. It felt like the world was just waiting for me to break, to finally collapse under all the pressure they stacked on my shoulders. And for a while, I believed them. For a while, I questioned everything. My worth, my strength, even my right to dream. Every insult, I stored it. Every doubt they threw, I carried it like weight plates on my back. While they were busy talking, I was busy transforming. While they were laughing, I was building strength in silence. It wasn't easy. There were nights where the pain drowned me, nights where I felt invisible, nights where my own reflection felt like a stranger. But I kept going, not for revenge, not for anyone's approval. I kept going because deep down I knew that the person I was becoming would terrify the people who once laughed. They thought I'd break, but I didn't. I bent, I twisted, I screamed into pillows. I walked through fire barefoot, but I never shattered. And that scared them more than anything. Because when someone survives what should have destroyed them, they become dangerous. Not loud, not aggressive, just quietly dangerous. That's who I became. And the beauty of it? They still don't know what I had to survive. They still don't understand the storm that built me. But I'm not here to explain. I'm not here to prove anything to them. I'm just here to walk, taller than ever, knowing that every single person who thought I'd break was actually handing me bricks, and I built a throne from them. But here's what they didn't know. Pressure creates two things, dust and diamonds. And I chose not to be dust. I wasn't born powerful, but they made me. Every sneer, every laugh, every dismissal was fuel. And now I walk with a calm fire inside me. I don't need to shout. I don't need to fight, because the battle is already over, and I won. I didn't break. I became unbreakable. This world doesn't stop for anyone. It doesn't pause just because you're tired. It doesn't give second chances just because you're kind. And it definitely doesn't wait for the quiet ones. That was the first painful lesson I learned. Silence doesn't make you visible. It makes you invisible. People walk past you. Opportunities skip you. Respect avoids you. Not because you don't deserve it, but because this world has been trained to to only respond to volume. I used to think being calm was enough, that if I just stayed good, stayed focused, stayed in my lane, things would eventually work out. I believed in effort. I believed in time. But reality hit me hard. I saw louder people, faker people, more reckless people move ahead while I stood still. I watched others with half the heart and double the lies win applause I never got. It burned me, not because I was jealous, but because I knew I had something real. And still, no one saw it. That's when it hit me. The world doesn't owe you recognition. It doesn't reward you just for trying. It doesn't hand out medals for integrity. This world moves fast, and if you don't run with it, it leaves you behind. So I changed the way I moved. I didn't get louder. I got sharper. I didn't start begging for attention. I started mastering my craft in silence. I trained in the dark. I learned in the quiet. And I promised myself, the next time they looked in my direction, I wouldn't just be seen, I'd be unforgettable. Being quiet isn't a weakness, but being invisible is. You've got to make noise with your actions. Let your results speak louder than the noise they admire. Be so undeniable that silence becomes your trademark, not your limitation. I realize the world doesn't owe me a stage. I have to build one myself. And that stage? It's not made of luck or fame or applause. It's made of pain, patience, and persistence. I stopped waiting. I stopped wishing someone would see me. I became someone they couldn't ignore. I didn't change who I was. I revealed who I was. And the quiet, soft, invisible version of me, he never disappeared. He evolved. He became someone who walks into rooms with purpose, not permission. Someone who understands that the world may never stop for the quiet ones, but the quiet ones once. When the world pushed me into the shadows, I thought it was the end. I thought I was being punished, left behind, forgotten. I looked around and saw nothing familiar, no help, no light, no path, just stillness, just quiet, just me. But in that stillness, something happened. My thoughts got louder. My focus got clearer. My heart started beating in a rhythm I hadn't heard before. The sound of survival. The sound of something awakening inside me. See, the shadows don't speak. They don't clap for you. They don't tell you what to do. That's why most people can't survive there. But for those who do, they come out changed, forged, not polished by praise, but carved by pressure. The shadows became my training ground. Not a prison, but a lab. A place where I experimented with failure, wrestled with fear, and discovered what I was truly made of. Out in the light, everyone plays roles. Everyone wears masks. Everyone performs. But in the shadows, there's no audience, no applause, no expectations, just truth. Brutal, raw truth. And when you can face that truth without flinching, you become dangerous. Because now you're not performing. You're real. You're solid. You know who you are without needing anyone to confirm it. I learned to be sharp in the shadows. Sharp with my mind, my moves, my energy. I didn't waste time proving myself to the world. I prepared myself for it. While they posted, I practiced. While they chased attention, I chased growth. While they burned out in the spotlight, I built stamina in the silence. And when I stepped back into the light, I didn't need to introduce myself. My presence said it all. Shadows are misunderstood. People think they weaken you, but they refine you. In the shadows, you learn patience. You learn to move with purpose. You learn to strike when it matters. You learn that the loudest person in the room is often the weakest, and that the one watching silently, waiting, is the one to watch out for. There's a unique power in surprise. The power to break expectations, to shatter assumptions, to rewrite stories without a single word. I wasn't meant to be this person, the one who stands tall when they predicted I'd fall, the one who commands respect when they dismissed me as irrelevant. I was the silent one, the shadow they ignored. But the greatest power comes not from being seen from the start, but from becoming undeniable when it counts. They didn't see me coming because I was quiet, because I wasn't loud, because I didn't scream for their attention. I worked in the background, invisible to their eyes, invisible to their doubts. And while they wasted energy trying to tear me down, I was busy building myself up. Every failure I faced became a stepping stone. Every insult became a lesson in resilience. Every closed door was just a signal to find a new path, a path they weren't watching. The journey wasn't fast or flashy. It wasn't filled with applause or spotlight. It was slow, painful, and lonely at times. But it was mine. I crafted it with patience, grit, and a burning hunger that never died. The hunger to prove that the quiet ones aren't weak, that being underestimated is the greatest advantage. Because when they underestimate you, they stop preparing for you. And that's when you strike, not with noise, but with undeniable presence. When I finally stepped into the light, it wasn't about showing off. It was about showing up. It was about standing firm in the face of every doubt they had placed on me. It was about letting my actions speak louder than their words ever could. And the look in their eyes, that shock, that moment of realization that I had grown into someone stronger than they ever imagined, that was my victory. You don't have to be the loudest to be the strongest. Sometimes the most powerful moves are the quiet ones, the ones made when no one is watching, the ones made in silence. And when the time comes, those moves speak volumes. They change lives. They change destinies. So if you've ever been ignored, dismissed, or overlooked, remember this: your not invisibility is your greatest weapon. Use it to grow. Use it to sharpen your mind, to build your strength, to prepare your soul. And when you finally reveal yourself, do it with the confidence that they never saw coming. I became the person they didn't see coming. I became the person they didn't see coming. Not by chance, not by luck, but by design. They pushed me into the shadows thinking I'd disappear. But I didn't vanish, I evolved. The silence didn't break me, it built me. I wasn't born in darkness, but now I own it. And I walk through it with my head high, not because I enjoy pain, but because I turned it into power. You don't need a spotlight to matter. You don't need noise to rise. All you need is fire. And if that fire burns inside you quietly, good. Let them underestimate you. Because one day, when you walk out of those shadows, they won't be ready. This was Twist Mind, where the silent ones become legends. If this hit your soul, like, comment, and subscribe. Because your silence is your strength. And the world hasn't seen your full story yet.